for takeoff.
We are cleared for takeoff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the place where real dialogue matters.
Make some noise for that sound, man.
It is time to take flight with Audio Airstrike.
So, did you hear about this carnivore diet that's apparently going around? That's the new craze now?
It's going around now?
Yeah, so apparently...
Where'd you hear about it?
On social media. That's literally where I heard about it.
What social media do you have that I don't have? You got like this? You got social media too or something on your phone?
No, it's just I looked up, so...
You got a WebMD. Wait a second, because I got to start asking the questions on this podcast. Now we're going to start with a Coop introduction.
Okay.
Where did you find this carnivore diet?
It was on social media. And then I looked up what were the pros and the cons for it. So apparently this carnivore diet, you cut carbohydrates out. It's nothing but meat and other animal products like beef, chicken, pork, fish, eggs. The idea is that you're cutting all carbs and you burn, and your body will burn the fat energy. You'll lose weight. Like the whole point of this is like weight loss. But other claims that the diet can fight inflammation, lower blood sugar, and it helps that with people who have diabetes and improved mental health to a degree.
Who said that? Joe Rogan?
I mean, that's what other claims people are saying. I'm literally getting this from WebMD, the website. The carnivore diet cuts all fruits and vegetables out, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with that personally. I feel like you need a more balanced diet than that, but I'll digress.
Of course.
That is pretty much what the carnivore diet, and to a degree, is. Now, people have had like some weight loss success, but you know there could be other like cons to it to a degree.
Too much of anything. If you do a diet that has if you did an all fruit diet, there'd be downsides. But because it's carnivore diet and people associate it with losing weight, people want to do it. Realistically, it's probably one of the healthier. Like if you want to get super shredded and have a testosterone boost and whatever, that's probably one of the better, I'd imagine. Diets to try, but realistically, there's going to be ebbs and flows to everything, and I feel like the carnivore diet is one of those things that, like guys that listen to Joe Rogan a lot will tell you it's like the next coming of Christ. It's like, no, you could use carbs in your everyday routine. You know, what I do now, like I have a diet that gets you everything. That should be the diet that you eat. The diet that gets you, the diet I do is chicken. The diet I do has brown rice in it. Hell, it sometimes even has white rice in it. The diet that I do has greens, herbs, fruit, even protein powder. You know, like this whole thing of like trying out new diets, intermittent fasting. Like, and it's not to say that they don't have good things about them, but realistically, what are we doing is the question I want to ask. Because like, who keeps promoting these things? I'm not trying to tank the show, but I'm genuinely curious, like, who have you heard that's talking about this? Because I need to see these people to, like, get a good, because I guarantee, did you see this on Facebook?
I'm going to be honest with you. It's a bunch of different influences that I've never come across.
Who do you remember them? Names
Noah Fleming, somebody that used to be, so Noah Fleming is somebody that's into holistic dieting. At one point, he was doing the vegan diet at one point. And now he's on this carnivore diet. He's tapping in more to his spiritual side, which is, and stuff of that nature. He's been on this journey, but I'm sitting over here and I'm like he's been eating thicker pieces of meat, like really into workout and fitness as best as he can to a degree. That's one person I've heard about a carnivore diet. However, I hear about these different diets a lot. And Coop's looking at him right now, looking at some of his content.
Bro, what is this? I'm no offense to Noah Fleming.
Right.
But, I guess, good for him. I mean, he looks ripped. I guess a lot of people's questions would be, is he natty? Also, is it just me, or does the rest of his face look too disproportionate to his body? And I'm not joking, no. Like, he looks normal. And even, I mean, like, he said he was too skinny there, but that's a really good amount of muscle to have. Now, it's the beard for sure, but it just makes him look kind of cavemanish, which I guess will happen if you do a diet like that. Like, that looks good. All of that looks good. He has eggs. He has steak. Is that avocado or is that pistachio?
I think that's avocado.
That's a diet I could get behind. That's a lot. But I think he has raw. He said something about raw.
Yeah, the portions are crazy. I feel like the portions are crazy. I've been told that the right kind of portion is almost like your fist, about the size of your fist.
Yeah, I mean, I truthfully, right, maybe I'm slamming this guy. I don't know the right portions. I just have a diet that was given to me by my striking coach in Connecticut, and it's helped me lose a ton of weight through also like exercise activity and stuff like that. I notice also there's a heavy religious tilt to his content. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he's certainly shredded. Who else? Do you mind if I ask? I want to go down this. I'm doing an audit on this podcast. It feels.
No,
like.
I know you can. I mean, you could. I mean, look, do a hashtag carnivore diet because I can't name.
I'm not doing a hashtag carnivore diet. I can't. I would crash if I didn't have at least something to sustain my energy. You know how low energy I am as it is with this new diet. If I took away the thing like brown rice, the thing that's giving me energy, all I'd have is Celsius energy drinks and coffee. I'd be off the deep end.
Yeah, I'd be
in the grave.
Be in the second place, which you would have been.
That's what I'm saying. So who's this next guy?
I'm gonna be honest with you. After him, it's a bunch of just random influence. It comes on my feed, bro. I can't control my feed, dog.
Pull up your feed right now.
Look.
Pull it out. Pause.
Yo, telling somebody to pull it out is crazy. So when I look up,
I don't like. I haven't heard of carnivore diet being a thing in such a long time.
Because I look for like workout tips, like my algorithm is now workout stuff.
That makes sense.
And wrestling stuff and football. So carnivore diet. It's literally a bunch of different influencers talking about this carnivore diet. So one will be like, okay, carnivore diet variations. Here's one post. Here's.
Guys, I mean, they're all shredded. You know, you can't discount that.
Yeah, and that's the problem. They're all shredded doing this.
Yeah, well, then there's also the thing where it's like there's no accounting for actual human beings.
Right.
That have like a 9 to 5.
Right. Like, you know what I mean?
That looks good.
Yeah, it does. Now, I will say this. This guy, Primal Steven, this guy actually did the carnivore diet, showing how he used to look versus now. Which I'll give him credit.
That's more natural, I feel like.
That is definitely more natural.
Yeah. I think those other guys, like, those guys are, like, that are 5% body fat. They're either pro bodybuilders. Like, is that the end of the ring for him?
Yeah, that's the after.
Yeah. I mean, still listen. Oh, there you go. I feel like that's, he still has a little bit of, right there, he's around 10 to 12% body fat. I feel like that's natural. Mm-hmm. Or at least he keeps going, unless he keeps going. And I could be swallowing my words.
End of the reel.
But yeah, that to me, that's more of a natural. Like that other guy, I didn't want to say anything because I don't want to come off as a hater. But, you have to ask, what is that guy doing also? Is he working out 4 times a day? Is that his job to be doing that?
I mean, I assume that, Noah Fleming has been in shape for like a while. I assume that he has a regimen that he does stick to and a workout regimen that he sticks to. And it gets adjusted from time to time. Like, look, the reason why I even brought this up, because this was a trend that I kind of noticed and I kind of wanted to like just share it and talk about it, because I'm seeing more and more people try these diets as the new fad. And, sometimes it doesn't have the sustainability. Sometimes like people get caught up in, I remember years ago, not even that long ago, people were caught up in being vegan. And I'm not knocking it.
If
that's something you want to do, it's still a thing.
I think that's more of a widely respected thing than doing carnivore at this point.
Oh, yeah. But I remember when that was like when everybody was talking about, like everybody in my circle was talking about, oh, I'm thinking about going vegan. I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about going vegan for these health benefits and reasons. And one of the things that I noticed is once the hype dies down and that quiet down, it's like somebody else is looking for the next diet craze. And, part of me is just like, instead of looking for the next diet craze, it's like, can we just kind of get to kind of like what is best for you based on genetics and what's based on for what your body can intake, and then focus on that for your diet.
Or you don't have to focus on that. Just go to the gym. And then, you'll figure it out if you, like all these people, it's like, it's weird in that there is a veil of kind of like these big brolic influencer guys will all sell you these different, it's the same thing as really good Call of Duty players that will sell you a loadout class. And they'll be like, this is the best loadout class you could use to dominate the game. This is how you get better. And it's like, it's never really tips and tricks, right? Like, and again, I follow some influencers that actually do offer up holistic gym advice, but all those hyper ripped guys that are like, this is a catch-22, this is a catch-all, like you could use this diet and you can get in shape immediately. It's like, yeah, does experimenting with a diet help? Sure. But what's more realistic is like, if you really want to lose weight, just get in the gym. Just if you see something and generally you feel like it's going to be unhealthy, then don't eat it. Or try to limit yourself. Try and intake, if you're going to have 6 cookies a day, cut yourself down to 2, then to 1, then 0. I've always been a guy that will go straight down to 0, and sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't, but eventually it sticks. I'm not talking about with food, but just with anything. Like, I'm a very cold turkey type of guy. But if you can't, and you need a little bit of that dopamine hit, then do 1 cookie. But, like, do something, right? Like, I feel like in practice, if you want to look at different ways of dieting, once you've started working out, that's fine. But it's almost like people are getting focused on the wrong things. You need to focus on changing up the habits. And this is so like obvious that I don't even know why I'm saying this right now. But if you really want to get in shape, just get in the gym. Just try things. You know what I mean? Hey, wow. You'd be surprised for those people that don't work out, how much like having a clean workout and then getting a shake after, or hitting a run and then getting a protein shake after will brighten your day. It's also the other thing too is like for the right people, it gets addicting. It's like, oh, I want to keep doing this because this makes me feel good. Especially on the days, there's been countless days where I'm back and I'm tired or I'm sad or I've had a bad day, and then I hit a workout and I'm like, boom, I'm right back there. I'm back in the fold, baby. I hit a run and I feel good. I feel energized. I go back in and I'm able to get the rest of my work done because it gives me a pep in my step. These people and God bless them, I don't think it's a laziness thing. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't think anyone's stupid enough to assume that you just eat a certain type of food and become ripped. But I think it is like the blind leading the blind in a way where it's like, no, dude, just get in the gym first. Start creating a healthy routine. See the benefits, because it's not just physical, it's mental too. You get more confidence. You can lift heavier things. You feel more like you could defend yourself in certain situations. Big also proponent of doing that with MMA. But then it's also like, as a nice cherry on top, you get ripped if you do it long enough and you stay consistent. There's different levels of consistency. If you want a cheat night every week, have a cheat night every week. That's what I do. Am I like 9% body fat? No, but I'm like 10 to 12%, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, you could do that. You could have a good time. You could be healthy, run, be able to lift heavy things, be able to defend yourself. You'd be all right.
Why do you think so many people kind of pressure themselves to look at these diets as like a shortcut to get to like a certain goal? Why do you think there's all this pressure going on?
I will say I think it is, and that's why I hesitate to say it's a stupidity thing. I think it's when you start anything. Like, I recently started doing voiceover full time, and naturally what I was looking for the longest time, and I realized I was slowing myself down, was, okay, what's the best way to edit this line? What's the best way to do an entire read of a script? And then I realized I was like, okay, how about I just do it? And how about as I go along, I'll pick up stuff. I'll pick up this, that, the third, this way of looking at it, this way of doing it. And I can kind of create my own style. Now, I have my own style now because I've been doing it for about 2 to 3 weeks, called the punch and hunch. So I'll do a line. If I think it sounds good, of course, again, I don't have any frame of reference because I got transferred over into that department. I don't have a frame of reference. That's where the hunch comes in. If I think a line sounds good in my untrained brain and it feels good, I'll go with it. If I don't, I'll punch in a new line. That's kind of how it is with working out. It's like, yeah, do you need some like grand thing to start? No, just look up workout routine online. If you want, use a split. Push, pull, legs. break day, push, pull, legs, 7-day week. Easy. Then in those little push and pull days, you can go in, oh, today what do I feel like doing? Okay, I feel like doing some pull-ups. That's a pull. I feel like doing some rows. That's a pull. I feel like doing, it's not exactly a pull, but like kind of, I guess it is kind of pulling
Bicep curls.
Yeah, bicep curls. It's pulling it in towards you, so it's still technically a pull. But yeah, maybe I want to do hammer curls today. Maybe I want to do the machine where, I forget what this is called. Pause. This looks crazy right now. But, you know what I'm saying? So it's like through just starting and keeping an open mind, your creativity can flow. And I think a lot of people just, to your original question, it took a long time to answer it. I apologize.
You good.
But I think a lot of people, they just have this like stun lock when they get into stuff. And it's just like, let yourself be new to something. It's all good. Plenty of people in the gyms too are happy to help. The biggest, scariest looking guys in the world are going to be the guys that'll come over. And yeah, sure, they might offer up information unwillingly to you, like where you didn't ask for it and they'll tell you. But there is that culture in the gym where it's like, it's a more friendly pace than a lot of people would think. And I think if a lot more people just got in there and got after it, and it didn't matter what it looked like, as long as you did something, that's great.
And I think that's what has people a little bit like tense is they are so worried. Because, I'll be honest with you. I was one of those people. Like, I was hesitant at times to get into the gym. Is it a regret that I have? One of the few regrets that I have? Yes, it is. I wish I started working out technically at 15.
You can start working out now. It's not.
I'm already doing it now. But
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was one of the regrets that I didn't start it earlier. And with me, it's like, I don't know if I want to deal with the gym. You got meatheads going in there acting crazy, making funny. Like I was a little bit more insecure back then for obvious reasons. Teenagers, different emotions, stuff like that. I was like, I did not want to deal with a couple of meatheads bullying me about how I'm doing weight training incorrectly. I don't need to be laughed at. I just don't want to deal with it. That was my mindset at 14, 15 years old. Now, I will say this, the gym culture is totally not like that, where you actually have people that, they've been working out for 10 years. It'll go and help a guy that's just starting out week 1.
Yeah, because they were once themselves that person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other thing. You got to start to be great. And that's obvious, but I feel like it really bears repeating, which is, dude, at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck. People in the gym, to your point, like, people get scared that they're going to get, like, what's someone going to do? Maybe you're doing something wrong, someone points at you and is like, then they go on with their workout. Who cares? You know what I mean? Anyone that does that is their input is invalid anyways, honestly. If you're going to make fun of someone that's just starting, then it goes without saying.
That says more about that person than the actual person who's trying to figure it out.
So it's like, dude, like, for me, I think it's also the fact that, like, for me, the idea of not starting something was always way more scary than the idea of starting something and being ridiculed. I don't know if that's, like, the default setting for a lot of people. Maybe it is for most. I don't know. I think some people would rather be left out than try something and seem stupid. I was always the opposite, where I was kind of, and I have always been like that, and it's bitten me in the ass sometimes, where I've sparred guys that I probably shouldn't have sparred because, they were really, really good and I wanted to learn something from them and I ended up getting put on my ass. But, like, hey, what's going to happen if I don't do this? Maybe I won't learn something for today. What's going to happen if I do? Maybe I get dropped, but, I'll learn something. And 9 times out of 10, I always learn something. 10 times out of 10, I always learn something, even if I get a little bit injured. Hence the black eye.
Yeah, that's Shiner right there. I mean, we've seen worse. We've seen worse from other people. I will say that.
Yeah, Kev, bro. Kev walks in like he got hit by a truck every single time. Shout out to Kev, man.
Yeah. Get that together, man. I told you to relax. Anyway. Yeah, man, it was like I had to talk about this because it was something I kept like seeing, and I kept seeing like other people do it because I was like, here we go with another like diet trendy type of thing that's gonna be like, is this a flavor of the month type of deal? And I'm like,
which is not a bad thing, by the way.
It's not a bad thing.
You can try, but you gotta have the brickwork first. You gotta understand the rules to be able to break them. You gotta know what is healthy and what isn't healthy to eat. You gotta know what fuels you, and that's like getting reps in. So go into the gym. Maybe if you engulf an entire steak earlier in the day, you might not have the energy to lift heavy. Like guys that are just on what's known as a dirty bulk, where they'll just eat whatever, right? The times where I've been bulking, I was up at 200. Now I'm down at 188 because I'm cutting back for a fight. 200, I could fucking lift a train. I was like, my bench was 250. 245 was feeling light, or like 240 was feeling light. But when I was 145, I was like cut up. I must have been probably 9% or maybe 8% body fat, but I was getting tossed around. I didn't have any strength. I didn't have any stamina. So, you know, there's different things you got to learn before you just skip to the part where it's like experimenting with different foods, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you also got to accept the fact that everybody's diet is not necessarily for you. You know, just figure out what's best for you, what's best for your body. You know, listen to your body. If the body's telling you, hey, I can't take this well, or I can't do dairy that well, or I can't do, hey, these type of meats I can't do well, listen. Your body will tell you, you know, if this is good for you or not.
It's also like you're shooting yourself in the foot if your body disagrees with something. Because it's like, if, let's say you do a carnivore diet, but you're one of those people that just needs extra energy. Like you're low. Naturally, my you could see now, like my energy is high. Naturally, I'm just like, I got a high motor. So I can go an entire day. So I've went entire days sometimes without, it's going to sound bad, but it's just because I was so busy, like not eating anything and then going to the gym. Yeah, I slugged through the workout, but like I can do that just because I, for some reason, have a naturally higher energy basement and ceiling. But someone else that's a little bit more, you know, cerebral, kind of sluggish, might need a little bit of an extra pick-me-up. And if we both did the same workout, I would go further than them they would need more energy to do so. So like, yeah, to your point, Ev, you got to figure out what's right for you, because if you do a carnivore diet off the bat and you're not one of those people that can just go all day without eating something and still have energy, then guess what? Your first gym workout's going to be terrible. Then there might be something where it's like, all right, well, I'm not trying this again because I couldn't lift anything. I feel emasculated. Whereas it's like, all right, yeah, chicken, brown rice, broccoli, a protein shake. Yeah, maybe a coffee, throw some espresso shots in the protein shake, get in there. Maybe you lift a little extra heavier because you got a little, you know, you got a pep in your step, and you're feeling good. Then you're hitting 40, 50 pounds, 60 pounds, 70 pounds, 80 pounds. It all comes, but not if you improperly diet before knowing what your body's all about.
Yeah, and it's not going to happen overnight. Like, just because you do a diet or a certain exercise, it's not going to happen overnight. Trust me, I know. You know, to get to this point, I'm now at the point where the weights that I'm lifting are starting to feel like I can still feel the weight, but they're starting to feel lighter than when I started out.
What are you lifting right now?
Barbells. I don't know, like, bench press what my heaviest I can lift. But I know barbells comfortably. I know I can. I don't lift heavy. Like, I don't sit there and pick up like 50. I'll do like between 30, 35.
Yeah.
And I'll just start from there. And then when those get light, then I'll just bump myself up to like 40, 45.
Yeah.
But I go pretty light for my body. I go pretty light so that way I get more reps in. Because I don't really care about like lifting heavy. Like, lifting heavy is not an attraction for me.
Yeah, you want a more physical
approach.
approach.
Yeah. You know, that's just a reality situation. That's something I do. Let's talk a little bit about your journey kind of in the gym, just to kind of give people, you know, kind of some insight. So some people would look at you and go, for his age, I was like, dude's in shape. But to you, it might be, I'm looking for a certain different type of goal. This is a goal I'm looking for and stuff of that nature. So what was your initial goal when you started working out?
To look like, I remember wanting to look like Cristiano Ronaldo. It's the first, because I got into soccer at an early age, and I saw him, and I was like, to play the sport, I want to look like him. And that's always, again, that's kind of what I talked about with me, was like, I didn't really care about starting and like being laughed at. I was just like, all right, how do I get to this point? Because I want to look like that. And the idea of not looking like that to me was like, wow, I can't, this can't be the case. Like, look at how sick that guy looks. This guy looks like a superhero. I want to look like that. So I got in. I remember the first day I ever started working out, I started with 50 push-ups. Pretty sure 50 push-ups. And then I think it was, had to be, man, I think it was bicep curls with a 25-pound weight. Like 10 of those for 3. So really like bare bones stuff. And then I did some ab work, and that kind of set me off on a course. Started eating ridiculously clean. Like, well, it wasn't even ridiculously clean at first. It was because I was very chubby as a kid. And as a baby too, I was just thick. I was just built up. Which is funny watching back now because I tried to be something that I wasn't, which was skinny, which I'll get to in a second. But yeah, I mean, I've always been meant to kind of be a not thick in a fat sense, but just like kind of dense guy. So I first lost 15 pounds over the summer of 2016, I think. So I went from 160 down to 145, and that's when I was real thin, like super duper thin. But I had abs. I was happy. I was constantly like looking for an excuse to take my shirt off because I thought I looked like Cristiano Ronaldo. Wrestling season comes around, and then I get thrown around. I'm like, this is not great. Even guys my size are having no problems just like tossing me. So then I get back in the gym, and I slowly just from there, I mean, it really became like a lifelong thing. That was when I was 16, so maybe 15, 14, I think. It was the summer of 2014. So since 14, I've been working out 10 years now? Wow. Yeah, 10 years now. And then since, being at 145 pounds, I just didn't like getting manhandled. I remember there was one night it was in a wrestling match and got manhandled for the 15th time that season. And I just remember seeing the weight room across the way and just going in there and working out. And from there, it kind of like, it just appealed to me. Something about the building, the eating clean, the source of confidence that it gave me was super duper galvanizing. And, I got all the way up to 165, then 175 around college. After college, I had a little bit of a rough patch where I was just, my house didn't really have the super clean stuff. Like I couldn't control exactly what I was taking in because in my house I had to eat a lot because I was working out a lot. So I'd kind of get into it. This is not me blaming my parents. Like this is my fault. I was so hungry that I didn't have the discipline to not eat. I would have to get into chips sometimes. I never ate an entire bag, but when I was hungry and we didn't have salad makings left, I would go for a sandwich. And one sandwich turned to two sandwiches. Two sandwiches turned into two sandwiches and chips. You know what I mean? And so I wasn't eating ever super unclean, but I was also like, I wasn't ever eating super dirty, but I wasn't eating super clean either. And that's when I got up to around like 185, 190. This is like 2 years after college, and this is very recent to this. There, I'm like, I don't have like a crazy six-pack. I have more like a four-pack, but I'm super strong at that point, and I've been lifting, and I can lift heavier and heavier and heavier. And that becomes a much more kind of enriching feeling, is like feeling powerful and strong. And then from there, I came here. I was going through a bunch of stuff. Definitely, without even realizing it, kind of, I don't want to say ate my problems away, but like to a certain extent, kind of, it helped with the stress. I would get Shake Shack like once a week, but I would get big portions. Sometimes I'd get Shake Shack 2 nights a week, which to you might sound like, you had Shake Shack 2 nights a week. But like to me, that was a big fall from grace from what I had been doing previously, which was eating clean. And now I got into the MMA gym, and I'm working on the process of getting hyper shredded again. So I'm down to, I was up at 200. That's because I was kind of just eating whatever, putting on a bunch of weight. Not all of it was bad weight, but I was just eating a lot because I was stressed and, I was working in the gym and stuff like that. Now I'm down from 200 to 180. I just weighed myself the other night. I'm 188. So I'm getting back to that, like, I want to get down to 175. Which I think would be a little bit, I'm not exactly like Mr. Big body right now. We'll see if I can make 175. But at the very least, maybe 180, 178, something like that, where I'm like, I'm already pretty lean, let's just say. You could see Abbage there.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
I've been all over the dial.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah, I mean, you've kind of experienced every single journey step about somebody trying to work out, figure things out, figure out a right diet, this and that. And now even to the point where, like, there have been times off air I've asked him, I said, yo, what's like a good routine for this, this, and this? And he's kind of gave me some pointers. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I mean, you would have figured it out regardless. You didn't need me to tell you.
Yeah, but it's good. It's one thing to ask it from like a total stranger, but when it's like a friend you trust, it's a different feeling.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, appreciate you coming on.
My guy.
Yep, we'll be back with another episode. Y'all take care, all right?
Bop, 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 bop. No, I'm just playing.
You going to just shoot my lens, yo? Like that?
That's for everyone out there that doesn't believe. That doesn't believe in us. How could they?